Alright, welcome back. This is M-Dog. And a quick scheduling note. I am back to work, so unless something weird happens with my work schedule this evening, my next stream will probably be Wednesday evening, and then kind of back at my normal time, which is to say Wednesday evening, and as far as U.S. Eastern Standard Time goes. But with working more, it also means I will probably get to a few more videos. I've been streaming so much over the past week. It's been great. But alas, reality strikes, and we have to sort of go back to our work schedule, balancing some nights being able to stream, some nights working. So, as far as this video goes, we're at 117.101 here at Akhtuba. And this is one spot that I wanted to try last night on the stream and just never got to it because we were having a lot of fun at Amber. But I thought we would give it a few minutes and see what is biting. We are at clip 10. And just sort of casting towards the end of this island over here. You can get here by foot, of course, walking around the pond. It's a little bit of a haul, but not too bad. Probably better than fooling with a boat and the cost of the boat. Just walk on over here. If we hook into something big, strategy-wise, I'm not sure. We may actually want it to run back this way and then just keep it in front of us and not let it go out into open waters. Obviously, the dangerous part of that is you are near open waters. But you get nervous going this way because this land does end, as well as it getting into this channel here, and then all hope is gone. So we'll have to just kind of play around with it. But one of the reasons why I wanted to try this spot is it appears that at least occasionally the buffalo are biting here, and I always can be talked into a little bit of buffalo fishing. So let's look at the baits and PVA we're using. So the first two lines are the same. So we'll look at this first. We are using, I've got the wrong hook on there. Should be using a WG hook. As far as I'm concerned with sinking boilies, I typically go WG. With pop-up, I typically go Mugga. But that is the bait combination we're using. I think if you look at weeklies on some of the fish that we're potentially catching here, these baits would probably line up with that. Krill dip, as well as a krill and crab combo on the PVA. And we just started, but so far we are, I think, 100% common carp. We can confirm that real quick. Yep, but I also wanted to look at this third line. So someone yesterday in the stream was asking me about this spot. We have the same PVA on. May even try taking the PVA off of this line. But they were asking me, what if I have a lesser reel? What if I don't have the, Vingas, or I don't have Megaras or Tagaras? What about coming with an Avia here to this spot? And I would say it's probably fine. What I would do is what I've done on this third line, and that is bounce down the size of the boilies. So you're trying to avoid the huge, wild, big heads while still hopefully getting lucky on some nice buffalo or even black buffalo. See, there's some other baits we could try here. Someone here is using halibut and pepper and mussels. Those are some big boilies, though. Slow bite rate, probably trying to hit that trophy wild carp. Tuna and salmon, that's interesting. But a lot of what you see is the red krill and crab and mussel. Or red krill and mussel flavor. Would that be corn? So is that a snowman rig? That's interesting. I think I'm reading that correctly. And then on the regular buffaloes, which is really what we're hoping to get a decent bite rate on, it's actually, the setup we're using is exactly. So by going a little bit lower boilie size, perhaps it'd be a little safer with something like an Avia if you're trying to dodge an onslaught of large wild carp or big head carp. So if you look at the big head, at least one weekly 58 kilo has been caught on this exact setup. So, good luck when that happens. The others are a variety of pretty similar baits for the most part. And then let's see what wilds. Wild carp have been really good this week. But it does look like everyone is, on the weekly list at least, targeting them with halibut and something, right? And I don't know. I haven't fished wild carp this week. I haven't been paying attention to wild carp this week. I don't know if this is even the spot where a lot of those trophy wild carp are coming out. I'll try to look at that while we're fishing here. Another interesting thing is we are getting an update later tonight. I shouldn't say an update. We're getting a server restart later tonight. And with the recent flyover video coming out from the new river, Yama, I'm sure that will get some people asking the question, are we getting the new river tonight? Obviously, I think the answer is no. The update specifically said that there would be no server restart. Let's see. I'm trying to go to server maintenance message here. Yeah, here we go. Server maintenance on Tuesday, May 25th at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Restart of the server. Work time only about 2 hours. There'll be no fish migration. So in my mind, that means now they could be doing some back end stuff or whatever. But in my mind, that means that there is nothing major content-wise coming out tonight, which is consistent with what I would have expected. And if you look back in the history of patch notes since they've been doing these flyover videos, not that it's going to be this way this time. There's no guarantee. But so far, it's been pretty consistent that we get a full week to 2 week time period between flyover video and the actual release. And in that time period, they have occasionally allowed a streamer or two, or an RF4 personality or two, test the new river and put that out for consumption. But I haven't seen any notice of that yet. That doesn't mean that won't happen. It could. If that does happen, I'd expect it to happen maybe this coming weekend at the earliest. But we'll see. We will see. Still a lot of questions in terms of the timing of the Yama River. Also a lot of questions in terms of the content. How much will it change the game? Will it introduce any new fishing types such as fly fishing? How big is the map? Will there be any new changes to the environment, such as might we be able to wade out into the shallower water a little more? A lot of good questions that came out from this from the flyover video, but not a lot of answers. So we're just kind of hanging out, still waiting on that. But yeah, so far we've got all commons. It's a little slow, but it is that time of day. I'm hoping to be able to stay with you on this video until we get to nighttime. We won't necessarily sit here all overnight, I don't think, but I'm hoping that sitting here through at least getting 2 evening hours will give us a sense of the variety of species that may be coming out. And hopefully that'll be good. It looks like some nice fish have been caught here, but when I see the reports of people's experience here, it's hard to tell. Oh, look, it's our first buffalo. I just love these little fish. Just love them. I heart buffalo. It's hard to tell the consistency of the bite rate when you look at people's cages. So that's why I wanted to come experience it myself. I hope to spend a little bit of time at, maybe even on video, we'll see, at 169 again at Amber. You continue to see some really nice reds coming out. So it'd be cool to give that another go, try to pair it up with some ideal weather perhaps. All right, let's see what we have here. We do have a small wild carp, so not super exciting on the size of that fish, although because of the smaller boilies, theoretically if you had smaller gear on that line, maybe you just dodged a little bit of a headache. Of course, with my gear, I don't mind getting the wild carp. I'd love to catch a wild carp trophy. So, past making this video and testing the smaller stuff here, I would want to have large boilies on, the 20s size and 18 pellets. I did suspect, though, and I don't know if this will bear out to be true, but if you did use these, I suspect you have a better bite rate. If you had those on all three, you should have a pretty good bite rate, but you may catch some of those undersized wild carp and big heads too. Okay. Wow, that really expands how many species you're going to see in this spot if the grass carp are also a little bit active. And let me check one of these. I think somebody posted something about this spot not too long ago on VK. Let me see what their cage looked like in terms of species, see what we could possibly expect. Oh man, I may have to try that. Looks like there's an interesting mosquito spot. Yeah, I think we will have to try that. I love interesting mosquito spots, although it is float fishing, which I'm not as excited about. We could maybe do two feeders, one float. Somebody's catching some nice crucians on float though. All right. So here's one person's cage from here. Let's see what all they have. Yeah, I see a grass carp. Not many, but it looks like a couple. Decent amount of buffaloes, which we haven't seen yet. That could be time of day. Of course, plenty of commons, and it looks like the wild carp actually aren't that active here. Looks like smaller wild carp is to be expected. So even with the larger size boilies, we may be okay here. For the most part. Because I just don't see... Now, this is just one person's report of this spot, but I'm not seeing them catching big heads here. So if you're just getting occasional wild carp, it might be worth the risk, even if you don't quite have the gear for the typical carp fishing at Tuba. Yeah, and it looks like for wild carp, folks are fishing 157, more than this spot. I don't think this is the wild carp spot, so that's good in terms of our experiment here. Which wild carp are always so fun to go for, especially if there's something else you're kind of doing on the side. 157 is down at the toenail. So down here basically around E8, F8, somewhere around in there. But yeah, wild carp can be a lot of fun to go for. It can be slow at times, but the payoff is always so good if it's a reasonably good spot, which that appears to be. I think trophies and even blue tags have been coming out this week, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, and really a different approach. I mean, you've got the halibut and more of the tuna stuff. It looks like for some folks has been working a little better on the wilds. But both 169 and 84, which are the two spots we fished at on the stream last night, have just been really nice. Really nice at amber. Pretty good. Pretty consistent. All right, so what time is it? 2:24. Hopefully, in the next couple hours in game here, we'll start getting into a little bit more active bite rate. This may just be a little slow. It's no big deal to me. If there's a chance that some decent buffaloes might come out, I'm always game. I don't know why, but I've always just really enjoyed fishing for those. think the most disappointing part, if I was going to be critical of this spot, is that these baits haven't created a more active bite rate, even through the middle of the day. You know, I really thought that would be, I knew we might not catch as high a quality of fish, but I was hoping we would just get that a little more constant bite rate with those baits in. So I think next fish we do catch, I probably will go ahead and switch these back over to the normal baits for here. Unless there's something else that stands out that we could try just for a few moments that would still complement our krill and crab. It's all going to be that same stuff, isn't it? It's like if you're all in for the buffalo. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think we just go to the same one on all three. Such a short clip, though. Catching buffaloes at a 10-meter clip's pretty cool. So let's see, we cut up one fish, but we've basically gotten 8 fish in, you know, a little under 20 minutes. One of them wasn't a keeper, and several of them have been those really kind of annoying small marker commons, which aren't a very good return on investment with 20 gram PVA. Does look like things are starting to activate, pick up a little bit. Only one buffalo? That is disappointing. That is not ideal. It is a little hot for buffalo. I'm looking at the conditions. So it's a little hot, and then also we're pretty much in the worst time for buffalo, right? But once it gets to be evening, buffalo potentially pick up until about midnight, and then you'll get another run starting around 3 a.m. So the middle of the day is like the worst time for buffalo, but it is a little hot. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you kind of want it to be a little closer to 30, I think. The sunshine is fine. Sunshine, partly, whatever, but we don't want too hot. And it might be just a degree or two on the hot side. But we'll see. I still think we might catch a couple decent ones here in the coming couple of in-game hours. At least I hope so. All right, so since that's the case, let's see if we can keep going till midnight. Just see what happens between now and midnight. Hope this isn't another grass carp. Just a reasonable sized common. I like it. Look how slow. So we've now caught 2 fish on the big setups. Oh, yay. Nice. Almost 3 kilos on that buffalo. We've now caught 2 fish on the big setups and still yet to get one here on the little one. So let's just go ahead and get this gone. Yeah, I think the bigger baits are going to be the way to go. From what I'm seeing here, not that you couldn't hit a really nasty grass carp or a wild carp. I mean, it looks like it's always possible. But you could probably be a little aggressive in this spot from what I've seen so far. According to what your gear is. I'm glad we switched that one. Probably should have switched it sooner, but we got it switched up. Now we're coming into hopefully what will be the time of day where we'll see a decent buffalo come in. But, I mean, that is a nice common. It's interesting that the commons are getting so big here. There's even been trophy commons caught here, which is pretty cool. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was a good switch. Now we're up to 5 kilos on a buffalo. Something definitely nibbling on that middle run. There it goes. Small. Okay, it's shaping up a little bit. Bite rate has definitely picked up. Temperature hadn't started to come down yet, but the time of day has changed. Still sunny, but getting a little later in the afternoon. And we're starting to see more activity. Now it looks like we've got 2 bites going on at the same time. I'd love just to hit one really like nice, decent buffalo out here. Nibble, nibble. So far, at least, what we're not doing is catching any of the, like, you know, stuff like at Amber last night. I kept hitting crucians and stuff, which was less than ideal, but we also had some really good fishing. I think we ended up with, because of 2 trophy mirrors last night, we ended up with, I don't know, 1,100 silver or something in a reasonable amount of time. It wasn't bad. Amber's been pretty consistent, it seems, lately. Oh, look at this buffalo. That is a beauty. That is a beauty. Very nice. I tend to think when I see that the black buffalo baits are like a little more all over the place, I just tend to think that that's random. I mean, I think black buffalo spawn the same as buffalo. They're just rare chance or whatever. I mean, yeah, you could try tuna salmon in this spot. I don't know. I tend to think it's just a random thing. So, I mean, obviously I have no idea. This is just a guess. But if I had to guess, my guess would be Yama comes out next week. So sometime the week starting May 31st. So that very beginning of April, April. Very beginning of June, basically. If I was going to make a guess. And it could be the end of that week. I was trying to remember, and it would be easy just to go back and look at the patch notes. Basically, what you're looking for is like the patch notes that have a new water body attached to them. I just don't remember if it's more often Tuesdays or Fridays, or if it's like a little more random than that. In my mind, I'm thinking Tuesday or Friday, but I don't know if that's backed up by history or not. That's what I've got in my head, though, and I can't be bothered to go look through all the patch notes at the moment, but maybe we will later. And I think we'll just relog. Like once we're going to stop fishing for this video, I'll just do a quick relog and just so I can show you real quick what the fish are worth. Obviously, we're not going to do great here. I think you'd be okay in this spot if you actually fish a full 24 hours. I think it'll fill out. Between the evening and then that early morning bite can be so good sometimes on buffalo, and the commons. So I think you're going to do okay. This might not be a world breaker in terms of silver or XP, but I think you're going to do okay here. And it's just so fun. I love fishing buffalo. That buffalo took off. Look how much more consistently the buffalo are coming in now that we're at the right time of day. And we've just been hitting them now. You know, in the beginning, this hardly felt like a buffalo spot, but really when we started recording, we were exiting the buffalo time. And we're just now sort of back into it in the last few minutes, so. Gotta drink my water. Finished our coffee, now we gotta drink our water. I am just so curious. If fly fishing is not a part of the Yama update, I don't know that I'm gonna be, just from looking at that flyover video, I don't know that it's gonna be kind of get my juices going quite as much. It's just not my type of fishing necessarily, or it hasn't been my preferred types of fishing in this game. From what it looks like, what is going to be a part of Yama. Not that I won't enjoy it. I mean, I'll have fun. It's something new. I always think new content is good, but that question of is there going to be a new type of fishing, specifically fly fishing, I think that's going to be pretty important to how much enjoyment I personally get out of it. And then, of course, if there is fly fishing, then what's it like? How fun is it? You know, how enjoyable is it to do? And does it work on other maps pretty well also? So I think there'll be a lot of interesting things that come out of that if there is, in fact, fly fishing. And then just from a curiosity's point, if they introduce fly fishing, I'm just so curious, like, where's it going to go? Are you going to be able to tie flies? And if you can, you know, is that under lure making? And what does that look like? I just think that those are the interesting questions that I'm so curious to see what the devs are going to do if they do end up going in that direction. Another, like, you know, medium-sized grass carp in this spot. So they are occasionally here. Can't really complain. XP is XP. Get a little bit of silver for the grass carp. We'd rather have wild carp. If you could sub out the wild carp for the grass carp, if this spot had a little more wild carp activity and a little less grass carp activity, you'd probably take that trade. But it's still enough variety here with the commons and the buffaloes being so active. It's pretty interesting. We still have a real chance of getting another buffalo, though, even though it has gotten a little late. Coming up on 10 p.m. We'll at least give it to 11. If nothing has bitten, if we haven't caught a fish by 11 p.m., then we'll say it's pretty much, going to slow down, be pretty dead for the overnight. But we're still in, typical buffalo time, and the temperature's down a little bit. I think there's still a good chance we'll hit something here. Obviously, we could still have a common or grass carp as well at this time. All right, be something nice. Be something nice, third rod. Oh, yeah. Not bad at all. Now let's see what it is. Looks like oh, it is a buffalo. 4.3 buffalo. Couldn't tell. Almost thought it was a common. All right, we need to get our krill dip going here. Throw it back in. So, yeah. There's another buffalo. Another nice little buffalo there. What's the largest buffalo we've had? 6.05. Not bad. Trophies possible here. Not going to be a regular thing. You usually have to be a little patient on buffalo trophies, but they're always worth it when they do come. We must have the wrong line going on, right? Aren't these different colored lines? Let's see, Power Braid 36. Are they all lime? Is it this one that's a little weird? Yeah, this one's green instead of lime. That's the problem. Okay. I knew something was going on. So it's really fine on the size and the type of lime, but I usually have them all matching lime when I'm fishing with a 36 kilo braid. Will we see one more fish? That is the question. The other thing I'm excited about, and I really hope this works out, is I'm ready to do a new leveling guide. Like a 1 to 14 or something, maybe 1 to 20 even. I doubt it. I've gone 1 to 20 before. Man, those take forever. But a 1 to something leveling guide. I just don't want to start it until after we get Yama out, and I hate to start it if winding redo is going to be soon. But who knows with that? If something doesn't come out information-wise once Yama drops about winding, then I probably won't wait for the winding redo for our next leveling series. I just don't want to start it now because in case there is a new type of fishing style, who knows? It might be available from a low level. It may not, but it could be. So it could change the options, at least the approach. Although I tend to focus on feeder fishing traditionally when I do leveling series, because I think it's a nice way to ease into the game. I always like to at least dip our toes in the other types of fishing, little float, little spinning. And if we have a new style that's available from a low level, it might be worth doing that as well. So that's what I'm kind of holding out on that. All right, we're going to give this like just a couple more seconds here. I don't know if we necessarily need to wait all the way till midnight. It's gotten pretty slow here right towards the end of the night. It did pick up though. Look at all the buffaloes we caught. We're going to have... we're not going to have seen a full 24 hours in this spot. And do remember, if you're fishing here, though you might not catch between like midnight and 3 a.m., you're probably not going to have a whole lot coming out, maybe a fish or two. But between that 3 a.m. and, 8 or 9 or 10 a.m., that could be the best fishing of the day in this spot. So that's the one sort of time slot that we didn't get to see during the making of this video. Oh, we're going to get one more fish. That's great. That's great. One more fish for the road. Might have been a last minute buffalo. Nope, common. One more common for the road. I like it. All right, no nibbles going on. All right, let me just relog here. 1 second. Please stand by. We will be back shortly. Okay, so that was fun. I could see coming back down here and sitting on this spot. It's slow enough that like if I'm doing something else, working on something, waiting on a work call to come in or whatever, watching something on Netflix or watching somebody stream RF4, it's got just enough interesting stuff going on that it might be fun to do that. Although Amber's the same way right now, and Amber's probably a little better silver XP overall, a little more consistent. Or that wild spot. We could go try the toenail later, too. There's lots of options. Right now, there's some good fishing, it seems like. As there pretty much always really is if you look around enough and are willing to change up your approach a good bit. Hey, thanks for the follow. I like those follows that happen when I'm not streaming. Gladden? Maybe Gladders? Gladders, thanks for the follow. Man, how about that? Those happen every once in a while, but to happen while I'm recording a video for YouTube. Good timing, Gladders. Good timing. Okay, real quick, let's just see what some of these buffaloes and stuff are worth. They add up. If you can hit a pretty active buffalo spot, it is not bad. Currently we have, that's interesting, only 16 kilos needed for that grass carp. I mean, that is certainly possible in that spot if you sit there for a little while. That's the only order right now that looks relevant, though. All right, by price, that's what it looks like. Big common coming in at the top. Overall, not bad. Look at that. So I bet you could average, what do you think? 300 to 400 silver an hour. Some hours might be a little better than others. Some hours might be a lot better. Some hours might be a little worse, but that is not bad. It all adds up. You're not really catching any fish that are just like not worth anything, right? So it just kind of adds up. Not too shabby at all. I don't mind that at all. If you can have the fun of fishing for buffaloes and make a little silver on the side while you're at it, that's a pretty good time if you ask me. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time. Tight lines, okay? Peace out.